Inflation is something that every investor needs to keep an eye on, especially if you're planning for retirement or looking to preserve wealth over the long term. As prices rise, the value of your savings can quickly erode, making it more difficult to maintain your standard of living. If you're not taking proactive steps to protect your investments from inflation, you could find yourself losing out in ways that could affect your future financial stability. Now, the best inflation fighting strategies for investors are all about staying ahead of the curve, and today, I'll walk you through a few tactics that can make a world of difference. But before I dive in, if you're serious about protecting your wealth in the next 2 weeks, click the first link in the description below to discover why thousands of Americans are opening gold IRAs to safeguard their savings. It's a game changer if you're looking for a stable way to preserve your wealth against inflation. Let's talk about a few inflation fighting strategies that actually work. First up, stocks. Historically, stocks have been one of the best hedges against inflation. While they can be volatile, they tend to outperform other asset classes over time, especially in inflationary environments. However, not all stocks are created equal, so it's important to look for companies with strong pricing power, businesses that can increase their prices in line with inflation without losing customers. But here's the thing, even stocks can have their ups and downs. You may be thinking, what else can I do to protect myself? That's where real assets like commodities come in. Investing in things like gold, silver, or even energy resources can be a great way to hedge against inflation. Gold in particular is often seen as a safe haven during times of economic uncertainty. It doesn't matter if the stock market is up or down. Gold tends to hold its value, especially when inflation is on the rise. If you're truly serious about protecting your wealth, gold IRAs are worth a look. With a gold IRA, you can store your gold in a tax-advantaged account, helping you protect your retirement savings without worrying about the government taking a chunk of it. The best part? It's one of the most effective inflation hedges you can find. I highly recommend checking out the free guide in the description to learn why so many American retirees are turning to gold IRAs to preserve their wealth. You can get the details on how it works and whether it's the right strategy for you. Another great inflation fighting strategy is to focus on dividend-paying stocks. These companies, especially those in sectors like utilities or consumer staples, are often able to continue paying dividends even in times of inflation. Why? Because people still need to pay for water, electricity, and everyday products, no matter how much prices rise. The income from dividends can help you keep up with inflation, plus it's a steady income stream that can be reinvested for even more growth. Next, let's talk about bonds. But before you rush to buy bonds, remember that traditional bonds don't always perform well when inflation rises. The interest rates on bonds might stay fixed, but if inflation outpaces those rates, you'll lose purchasing power. Instead, consider Treasury inflation-protected securities, or TIPS. These are government-backed bonds that adjust with inflation, so you'll get a higher payout as inflation rises. Just keep in mind that these bonds are a bit more niche and might not be right for everyone. And if you want to go a step further, consider diversifying your assets globally. Inflation can hit different countries at different rates, so by holding investments in other regions, you can protect yourself against domestic inflation while still capitalizing on growth in other parts of the world. So what's the one strategy that really stands out in all of this? Without a doubt, gold IRAs are one of the most stable and secure ways to hedge against inflation. By holding gold in a tax-advantaged account, you can keep your wealth protected from inflationary pressures that erode the value of your savings. If you're looking for a no-nonsense, reliable strategy, this is it. And for those of you with 100K or more in an IRA or 401K, or even up to 5M plus in savings, I can't recommend gold IRAs highly enough. For American retirees, protecting your wealth with gold IRAs is one of the smartest moves you can make, especially in uncertain times like these. If you're serious about safeguarding your future, don't wait. Click the link in the description to get your free guide today. You'll be glad you did. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best way to combat inflation is to stay ahead of it. Act now, and you'll be in a much stronger position down the road.